Hey everyone, welcome back to the Keep Watching podcast, where we decide what to watch so you don't have to. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
And today we're going to be talking about Transit Love 2, Episode 5. So James, you ready to get into this?
Oh, this was an episode of Transit Love.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah. I think this is my favorite episode so far, Sarah.
Yeah, this was pretty good.
Okay. You're on board. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, that this is the best episode so far.
I don't think that should be a hot take.
You don't think it's a hot take? Okay.
We get some date action, we get some other things that happen.
Dates were probably the worst part of the episode.
Well, you can't even say dates. It's like 75% of a date, but still, I'll take it because I've been waiting.
Yeah, we're gonna get dates, and we're gonna get a couple ex-couples revealed.
And some other shenanigans.
Yes. But before we get into all that, though, Sarah, are you enjoying the Ted Lasso season that's going on right now?
Oh, so much. It makes me so happy.
Okay. I think there might be a few people that started watching Ted Lasso because we did a podcast about it.
We got at least one person, I think, on YouTube said that they started watching it. So that was exciting.
Which is on Apple TV Plus.
Which you hate, yes.
But, I mean, they got good shows. I
Just
don't like their
the interface.
Yeah. But I thought we could go through some other shows on Apple TV Plus that people could check out if they bothered to pay for it to watch Ted Lasso. We can give them some other shows to watch.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. I got 3 shows. Ready?
All right.
First one is Severance.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right, you've watched that. Okay.
I am actually kind of surprised that you watched that. That vibe is perhaps darker than what you normally go for.
It's like a psychological thriller, and it's like very dystopian in a way that I like it. So yeah, it like just gets me in. But Severance, do you want to try to describe Severance?
So Severance is, there's a company that is able to create this hellish existence where when you go to work, you're basically a different person and you can't remember your life outside of work. So that way you can't like give any company secrets away, I guess, because then when you leave work, you don't remember anything from work. So you're like 2 separate people almost. And then just a lot of weird shit happens because nobody really knows what they're doing at this company in a weird, mysterious way.
Yeah, Severance is the procedure that creates this 2 people within you that only exist in spatially, like one exists at work and one exists outside of work. And that sounds really weird, but that is not the weirdest part of the show. So it's a very mysterious psychological thriller that I did enjoy. See, only 1 season out, and there needs to be more season.
I think another one is coming this year. It is a very like dark and serious show, but then it does result in them like saying innie and outie a lot because that's how they refer to the 2 different people.
Oh yeah, the innie,
which is just
innie
kind
works
of silly.
And outie works. Yeah. So recommend that. And then 2 shows that we covered on the podcast. If people didn't know about, they can go listen to those podcasts if they are looking for more Apple TV Plus content. The first one is The After Party.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
Which is a comedy
murder mystery
whodunit show with people at a high school reunion after party.
Yes.
And somebody
it's fun.
is murdered. Yeah. But it's like a fun murder mystery.
Yeah, each episode you kind of see the night from a different perspective and you're trying to put together what happened based on all these different perspectives of the night.
Yeah. And each person's perspective is like a different genre of movie.
Yes, and totally unreliable because everybody's trying to make themselves look better, which is another fun wrinkle.
Yeah. And then the other show that we covered from Apple TV Plus is Dickinson.
Yes, that was very good.
Yes.
Which is about Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. I watched a show and recommended it to Sarah because I was like, this just feels like a Sarah show. So.
Oh, it definitely is, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very quirky, like... It's like a biography that like indulges the life of Emily Dickinson, basically, right?
Yeah, it modernizes a lot of things, and it's very like she calls things out as bullshit in a way that like would not socially be acceptable at the time, and You talked a lot about Ted Lasso being a show that was like made for you. In a lot of ways, Dickinson feels like a show that was made for me because I hate to watch old timey shows with historically accurate sexism. And this has the historically accurate sexism in it, but she makes fun of it a lot and it makes me feel better. So
Yeah,
pretty
it's like a
good.
period show, but with a modern sensibility.
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
it is a lot more fun than it sounds at its surface.
Yeah. So Ted Lasso, Severance, The After Party, and Dickinson are my four recommendations for Apple TV Plus if you already have it and you're looking for something to watch.
I would add, I just finished Shrinking, which they just did the first season of, and that is kind of a delightfully wholesome, nice show. It's got Harrison Ford's in it, and then the one guy from How I Met Your Mother. I don't remember his name. He's a shrink, and he's going through some issues because his wife died, but he's like trying to help his patients in a weird, quirky way while he also tries to get over his own grief. I know I just said it was a heartwarming, fun time, and that
Yeah.
didn't sound like that, but it is. It's a feel good show.
Okay. Would I like this show?
Yeah, I think you'd like this show.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll have to check it out. I mean, I have this Ted Lasso subscription for
Yeah.
a little while longer, so watch something while I have it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Now I'm ready to get into this. You ready to get into Transit Love?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. Before we get into episode 5, though,
Mm-hmm.
when I was listening back on our episode 4 recap,
Yes.
I had some more observation.
Okay.
Now, okay, I've watched episode 5 now,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
I'm gonna give you the play-by-play of my feelings about who the exes must be as we go through this.
Uh-huh.
So when I still had not watched episode 5,
Yeah.
I had convinced myself that
Mm-hmm.
Tae must have had 2 exes in the house
Right. Yes.
with Yi-hyun and Ji-hyun.
Of course. Only thing that makes sense.
Because if you go back to Confessional in episode 4, though, like, remember when Tae was like, yeah, I know who all the exes couples are, and then they like had him in a confessional, and they showed him guessing Jisoo's and
Mm-hmm.
Wonbin's exes, and
Yeah.
he got them both wrong.
Of course. Yeah.
But also like he didn't guess Yi-hyun or Ji-hyun in
Right.
that. So I was like, oh, that's a clue. They're both
Or
his
was
ex.
it the show still trying to keep alive he's clearly with Yi-hyun?
Yeah. And then I was thinking that the reason Yi-hyun was so ridiculous was that maybe like Ji-hyun didn't know about Yi-hyun, but Yi-hyun knew about Ji-hyun. Like that would
That's why she was
perfectly
okay.
explain the situation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that was
Like
yeah.
like Yi-hyun rolls into the show thinking she's gonna be like Tae's ex on the show, and then she's like, "What the hell? I'm Tae's other ex is here, and I know about it." Like she's gonna be pissed, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's
Except-
definitely what it is.
Yeah, definitely
Okay,
what it is.
we solved it. Okay,
Yeah. No, there's no conflicting evidence.
yeah. All right, Sarah, where did we leave off at the end of episode 4? Where are we at here?
I think it's still Sunday evening. I felt like this episode started very abruptly. Where
It did, yeah. I was like, what day is it? Is this a flash forward? I wasn't sure what was going on. But yeah, it's still Sunday night. The
So
day
this is
before the first
after-
dates.
Yeah, this is after all the guys informed. Well, 2 of the guys informed the girls where they were dating and didn't actually ask them out, which made them a little cranky.
Yeah, I got
It's
beef
after-
with that.
Wonbin spent the whole day watering plants, and they all got to talk to the exes of their dates. Is what happened before this
Yes.
to get
there we go.
advice.
All right. Now it's like midnight or like
Yeah,
1 in the
it's
morning.
Pretty late.
They are up late on a Sunday.
Yes. 'Cause
Okay.
they don't have jobs at times when I would expect people to have jobs.
Yeah, I'm very confused about who has jobs and where. I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on here. Yeah.
I think they're taking some days off for the show,
Okay,
probably.
Okay. And we're immediately going to jump into it's time to text people,
Yeah.
which I guess they're doing very late at night because they had to do all the chat room stuff.
Right. Yeah. And again, it asks who made your heart flutter. I think that's just what it's going to
Yeah.
say every time. And it's another one of those you got to text each other in front of each other situations so they get all awkward.
Yeah. This gets goofy though.
Mm-hmm.
Although, at first I noticed that like it seemed like everybody was like really into thinking about what they're texting this time.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like only Mingy. Like, and everybody else was like, yeah, just text something real fast. Okay.
They're all playing it cool now.
Okay. This entire Who Got Text reveal segment that they do, they had this like weird secret agent style music for like the whole segment. Did you notice this?
I don't think I did, but that makes
It's
sense.
a weird music choice. Yeah. But I
Well,
was thinking,
it's
like,
a
is this just to clue us
mystery.
in? Yeah, is it just like to clue us in on the fact that like something fishy is going on? Like they give us
Probably.
this like weird. It is weird. It is weird music. I don't think they played this music before.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to go through these Who Got Texts?
Yes. First, we see Tae's text. He gets one text. It's not from his ex, and it says, I can tell you're a good person the more I get to know you. You know a lot too. Let's keep talking.
Which is interesting because he got 0 last time.
Yes.
And it's not his ex, so it's still not Jiyeon.
So this has to be Nayeon, right? Yeah, I think
Okay, well,
that feels logical to me.
okay. We got to talk about this.
Okay.
Did you think that at the time though?
Yeah, I
Oh,
definitely
well,
thought that at the time.
he tells us that he thinks it's Nayeon.
No, before he even said that, because they have been chatting, you know? Like, because they're on the same floor.
Oh, you did mention that, yeah.
And
I didn't
yeah,
read
he
too much
keeps-
into that because it seemed so casual. Like,
Oh, no. There's little sparks forming. Just
Okay.
little teeny sparks.
okay, so you got Nayeon texting
Yeah.
Tae. Okay, that's a new text.
Yes.
And
yes,
then-
it is.
Nayeon's gonna get one text.
Yes. And it is also not from her ex. And it's, you weren't cold today, right? So I'm like, it's got to be Tae, right? He gave her his hoodie. So he's like, hey, I kept you warm. Good job, me.
Yeah, I was actually like confused at the start of this episode. I was like, what cold are they talking about? I was like, when did they go outside? And I was like, oh yeah, the chat room. Look. And I couldn't remember who helped who with what sweatshirt, so I was a little.
Yeah.
I just wrote down Wonbin probably. Like, why would Wonbin stop texting Nayeon? That's what I felt.
Well, that is true. And then
Yeah.
she has a little confessional where she reveals that she also got a heat pack from Wonbin. So that's two boys
Oh.
keeping her warm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So given what we find out later, yeah, Wonbin feels like the right actual call for this.
Yeah.
But at the time, I thought it was Tae.
But then she says she hopes that the text was from Tae.
Because they've been talking and there's little sparks forming.
Yeah. And she messaged Tae, theoretically, so
Yeah.
I guess you just want to get the message back when you message somebody. Okay. Things are different than what we last thought already.
Everything's changing on this show all the time.
Here we go. Jiyeon gets one text.
Yes.
I want to say she also previously got 0. Is that correct?
She got 0. Maybe not the last time. Maybe the time before that. Maybe it was last time. There was a point in which she got 0.
Yeah. I'm looking
All the texts
really
are
fast.
blending together.
I know, but this is important. Yeah, Jiyeon last time got no text.
Okay. But this one says, thank you for asking me if I was doing okay. And it is from her ex. So,
And we know who her ex is, so it's Tae.
which is Tae. Yes.
Okay.
Unless she has a
Tae.
secret extra ex that we haven't
Okay.
found out about.
You're getting too crazy, Sarah, with that.
I thought we weren't trusting the show anymore, you know? Gotta put it out there.
I think there'd be more than one person with 2 exes. And then there'd be a triangle between
Oh, yeah.
the double X's. Okay.
Everybody is exes of everybody else somehow. It'll all line up.
But apparently this is like, I mean, it's only been a few days on this show, but apparently this is some old ass reference to the first
From
episode.
Day one, yeah.
From when they chatted in the chat room. And
Mm-hmm.
Jiyeon asked Tae if he was okay.
Because she is constantly worried
And
about
Tae-
him.
Tae finally felt that 3 days later it was time to reciprocate.
No.
That
Tae couldn't text the person he wanted to anymore because she left the show. And then
Oh,
he went,
that's
I
true.
guess I'll text Jiyeon.
Oh, that's true.
That's the only
Forgot about
reason.
that. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a pretty bad like reason to text somebody too, right? Because
Yup,
they asked you-
100%.
Okay. All right. You're right. I was thinking though, did Tae do 2 chat rooms on the first night? That's crazy, right?
I guess he must
That's
have.
crazy to think about. Okay.
No wonder it's always so late on this show.
Yeah. Mingi's turn.
No messages.
0 text. Bad Mingi.
Yes.
Jisoo's turn.
She gets 2 messages. And it's
2
funny because she
texts.
sees it and she immediately starts like laughing in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
everyone at the table.
What did Jisoo get last time? I want to say she got 0 last time.
She got 0
1
the
last
first
time.
time.
The first time. She got 1
Yeah.
last time from presumably Guman.
Yes. And so when I first read this, I thought this was 1 text and I was like, where's the second one? But I think it's 2. So there's one that says, it's cold tomorrow, which is a nothing text.
You think this is both texts? Interesting.
Unless they did not translate the second one for us.
I think that,
normally they'll say
there's some goofiness
it's redacted.
here.
But
Yeah,
then the
you're
other
right.
part says
There's some serious goofiness here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other part says, let me know again if you need warm clothes.
They seem totally
like-
related.
Yeah.
Like they should be
But-
1 text.
Everybody is texting about it being cold because that's the only thing they have right now.
Yeah.
But so my guess was the it's cold tomorrow is Minky with this low effort text. And then
Yeah, that would make sense.
let me know again if you need warm clothes would be Guman because he gave her his hoodie or cardigan or whatever. And she also got the message that said that none of these are her ex.
Yes. But then in her confessional, she just said she thinks the message was from Guman. Like only referencing 1 message.
That's the only one she gives a shit about.
Oh, okay. But she didn't specify which message she was talking about.
Doesn't matter. She knows.
Yeah.
Just the one is all that matters.
I read this whole first message and I was like, oh, this should be Mingi.
Mm.
Because it's referencing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, but then it says let me know again. I couldn't remember who like gave Jisoo stuff, so
Oh, it was definitely Guman.
okay, it was Guman. Okay, yeah, okay. Wonbin's turn.
No messages.
No messages,
And I think this is the first time this has happened to him, and he is feeling sad about it.
and I don't know if this happens sequentially in real time, but it really felt like Wonbin checked his phone, saw he got 0 texts, and was just like, "I'm gonna go to bed now."
Yeah,
Instantly
it did
goes
look
to
like
bed.
that.
It seemed like he wanted. It felt like he wanted to go to bed, but then he had to like stay up for the texting.
Yeah.
But you could interpret it as like he's like pissed that he got 0 texts and now he's just gonna go to bed.
I took it as he had a big weekend. He got super hungover. He had to water all those plants. The boy needs to sleep, you know?
Yeah, he definitely just wants to go to bed, but they made him
Yeah,
look
it
a
was a
little
fun timing, yeah.
upset about it. All right. And now it's Guman's turn, Sarah.
Yeah, and Guman gets 2 messages. And
Okay.
it's, I was warm thanks to you. Let me borrow it again sometime. Obviously, Jisoo.
That's Jisoo, okay.
And then a text that really confused me. Was
Mhm.
it, quote, all you need is love, end quote. Who did you text last night? What?
As if you can respond, right?
Yeah.
To the text.
And I'm like, I don't understand what this is referencing. I don't know what's happening. He has a little confessional though, where he says like it was a t-shirt he was wearing. Did not catch on that last episode.
Yeah. Okay, so I immediately wrote that this must be from his ex.
Yeah.
So then I was
Right.
like, oh, I guess Nayeon is his ex. But then that throws it all out of whack, okay? Right?
Yeah, I figured this must be Jiyeon, and it was just a really weird something that I was missing because of either the translation or something that didn't make it into the show.
And then he says in a confessional that he felt attracted to Jisoo the most,
Yes.
I believe. Okay. At this point, Sarah, I wrote down who I thought sent each text.
Okay.
Okay? So let's just pause right here.
Okay.
Because this had to be from his ex,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, then like the only way to fill this out is that Jisoo and Nayeon texted Guman, and then Ji-yeon and Nayeon texted Guman, and then Jisoo texted Tae. It was like the only way that it made sense.
But it still wouldn't make sense because, like, other than like day one, Jisoo texted Tae. She hasn't like talked to him at all since then.
Yeah, in terms of what we're being shown on the show, but in terms
Yeah.
of like the show telling us whether or not it's their ex that's texting them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
once Nayeon had to have texted Guman, and then what's the logic here?
Yeah.
and
it
then
gets
Tae
really weird.
didn't get a text from his ex, so it can't have been Jiyeon. Then it would have had to be Jisoo, which means Jiyeon was the other one. So it doesn't make any sense right away. It's like it doesn't make sense.
The way I fixed for it was I was like, Gion's got, some spontaneous weird energy. Maybe she would send a weird text like this. Like, sure, why not? Like, maybe
But
she's
her
just
text. Oh, who did you text? Oh, I see. Okay, so you're saying it's not his ex, it's just Gion.
at the
Okay.
time.
At the
That's
time,
what I
okay.
assumed.
And then who the guys texted, I think we know. Human texted Jisoo. Mingi texted Jisoo. And then Tae must have texted Jiyeon, right?
Yeah, because we got confirmed that was her ex.
Yeah, and then that means Wanbin texted Nayeon, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though it seemed like it could have been Tae.
Yeah.
But it was actually Wanbin.
Actually,
Okay.
Wanbin, yeah.
And then some weird shit happens. That's never happened before on the show.
Human gets a third message.
But it comes in later.
It comes in later.
Yeah, it comes in later, okay.
And it said, "Why do you go to sleep so early? Let's spend more time together." And then he gets another message that says he was selected by his ex. And then his face gets all scrunched up and he's very, very confused. And then the doorbell rings, all pretty much in quick succession.
Yes. So here's the thing, though. So Jiyeon, what's so weird about this is like the order that they revealed it. Like Jiyeon must have been the third text, right?
Yeah, because that makes more sense in the context of he does go to sleep early. She would know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the mystery girl who is about to come in the house must have been the second text asking about who you texted last night.
Yes. And I'm still not sure what the beginning part of it is referencing.
Yeah, it must be something they talked about in the pre-show meeting. Like
I guess.
They were trying to remember something. But the show did not give us any context for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the doorbell rings. So we're back to Nayeon did text Tae. Jisoo did text Gyumin.
Yes.
Jiyeon also texted Gyumin. And then this girl that's about to enter the house also texted Gyumin.
At least we assume.
And because Jisoo and Jiyeon have already had their exes revealed, in all likelihood, this mystery girl should be Gyumin's ex, right? Like,
yes.
Okay.
And also on top of he made that face when he got a text from his ex, who, shouldn't be shocking if they were already in the house. So it all lines up.
Exactly, yeah. All right.
But yeah, they get a letter that says a newcomer is in front of the house. It is apparently 1 a.m. Wanbin still can't go to bed.
Yeah, doorbell rings at 1 a.m. Also, we can confirm from this that Nayeon and Mingi are exes.
No.
What do you mean?
I mean...
Tae has 2 exes.
This was your theory. I had long ago abandoned ship on this. It was either all the girls are Tae's exes or none.
Well, then it's definitely not none.
Well, not none. But... No, my theory was Mingi was Yihyun's ex.
I know the actual truth. I'm just telling people what I was thinking in the moment. I was like, Nayeon and Mingi must be exes because...
Yeah, but I need everyone to know that I figured it out an episode ago, at least in terms of Mingi and Yihyun.
Mingi and Yihyun. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. But you only said that because you thought Gyumin and Nayeon were exes.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter how I got there. It matters that I got there.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. They answer the door. Jiyeon gets the note, and she reads it. A newcomer is in front of the house. At 1 a.m.
Great time to move in.
Okay, and this is when the show starts trolling us, I think. A little bit here.
Yeah.
Now the hosts are not in on. I don't think the hosts are like in on the production trolling, but
right.
One of the hosts immediately is like, "Oh my god, Gyumin has another ex."
I like that they jumped immediately to the multiple ex theory instead of they're just outside of the house. Apparently, this didn't happen in season 1 at all.
If they were willing to think about multiple exes, why did they not mention that Tae could have had multiple exes from the beginning?
I don't know.
I think they're thrown off because in season 1, I'm guessing they added nobody to the house and everybody just had one ex the whole season.
Yeah, that's what
so
it
this
sounds
is like brand new. Okay, that's why they're confused. But the hosts immediately guess that Gyumin has another ex, which because they showed it on the show, you can immediately be like, well, that's not true. Because the editors chose to show it. And then one of the other hosts references, because it's about to get really complicated.
Mhm.
So one of the other hosts references The Genius, which I liked. He was like, "What is the show,
Yes.
The Genius?" You have to be a genius to figure out this.
Yep. We get a fun shot that I love of the new person arriving, and they're like walking up from the dark alley that Yi-hoon previously had disappeared into. It's like, here is her replacement.
Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't just like let her enter the house.
Like everybody else did on
give
the
her
first
a
day.
key. Yeah, it was during the day, but like I don't know, give her a key, let her just walk in, and she just shows
Mhm.
up. Would that have
Then
been
she's gotta
better than what
stand out
happened?
in the dark, and then everybody comes down to greet her.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Now that I think about it, though, I feel like they did this exact same thing on Heart Signal.
Oh, really?
Season 2. I don't know if they had to go like open the door for them, but they like all had to go downstairs, and I think somebody came in the house. I think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we're not gonna find out her name for a while in the subtitles, but I was able to read that her name was Heian.
Yes.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah.
Eventually, the subtitles will tell us their name, but
Yeah.
the Korean subtitles or labels were on way earlier than the
Yeah.
the English subtitles. Yeah, they all awkwardly go down to let her in.
Human is awkwardly at the back of the pack, not really trying to be a part of this.
Yeah, all the guys are pretty standoffish, like they just say, kind of
That is true.
"안녕하세요," and then, but the
girls
women are
excited,
very excited.
though.
All
and
the
they're
women
like,
are so chummy with each other on this
Yeah,
season.
I feel like that might end soon to a certain extent, but we'll see.
I don't know. They could keep faking it. I don't know.
I guess. But they're like, oh my gosh, she's so tall.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if like if the new girl, if Heian was asking Jiyeon or if somebody was asking Heian. But they're like, "You're so tall. How tall are you?" And then I got a bunch of tall information here, Sarah. Did you write down the heights?
Yes, she is 171 centimeters, which
Yes.
is 5'6".
Ooh, 5'7", I believe.
Is it 5'7"?
Not to my calculator said, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I put it into Google, and Google said 5'6".
Ooh, okay. It's not crazy tall.
I mean, I'm 5'7". Yeah, that's not crazy tall.
Yeah, I guess it's above average. Definitely for them, I guess it's above average.
Yeah.
But I think she's still shorter than Jiyeon by a little bit, by a
Just
few
a little bit,
centimeters. Yeah, because Jiyeon's like, or somebody's like, a tall lady is joining us, and then Jiyeon says, I think she said she's still the tallest girl, but then points to Tae and says that Tae's the tallest.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even think about which guy was the tallest, but apparently it's Tae. For those people
Yeah.
like me who like to know the heights of people. And then the hosts are going to make more guesses about the exes now that something that's never happened on the show is happening, where they're adding somebody to the house.
Right.
And I was feeling really good about my Tae 2 exes theory, Sarah. You know why?
Oh, yeah? Why?
Because somehow the hosts were not throwing Tae had 2 exes out as a theory in the edit of the show. So I was like, oh, it's got to be right. Like, they're not talking about it. Like, they probably said it and then they edited it out because it's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Sure. 100%.
Yeah. So I was feeling real confident right about now.
Nice.
But yeah, we get to meet Heian right away.
Yeah, we get to find out her job. She is a flight attendant for a domestic airline, and she just happens to be on break right now because of is COVID times when they're filming this.
Yeah, they said like because of COVID, they're like rotating the flight attendants or something.
Yeah.
So this is like her off period. That seems
Yep.
kind of crazy that she has like 3 weeks off in a row, but she probably has maneuvered some things, made it work.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you want to talk about the Myers-Briggs? Might as well. We got everybody else's Myers-Briggs.
I guess. Yeah. So of course everybody has to guess.
Really bad guesses this time. Nayeon
Yeah,
did not
yeah.
step her game up for this one.
Yeah, she's slipping.
It's 1 a.m. I guess it's rough.
Well, that's fair. But so Hayden says she is between extroverted and introverted. So she's either an INFP or an ENFP, and everyone is excited about it.
Yeah, and they're like, "Well, we'll just say you're an INFP because then everybody is still different. Otherwise, I think she like overlaps with Jisoo or something."
Yeah.
So they're just going to say she's introverted.
Yeah.
For the sake of diversity.
Sure. Yeah, then we get Tei saying that they should all introduce themselves, and he tells Wanbin to start, and she has this big reaction to his name being Wanbin. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's what he normally gets, yeah.
Yeah. Nayeon has a confessional where she says that her ex's type is Haeun. And we all know her ex is Mingi.
No, we don't know that.
So Mingi's going to be really into Haeun here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she does also say that if she was the type to get jealous, she would get jealous of Haeun.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to say, right?
Is it?
You know, like, if I was the person that got jealous, you know, that's who I'd be jealous of. How would you know that unless you were actually jealous?
Well, it's just her way of saying, like, she's really, like, pretty and beautiful and graceful or whatever. Like, she has qualities that, like, you would be jealous of if you were the type of person to feel that way, I guess.
Is she saying, like, if I had a guy in my life that I gave a shit about, then I would be jealous? But she doesn't give a shit about her ex.
That might also be true.
So it's really just a slam on the ex. The current situation, there's no reason to be jealous.
That, you know, that's a fair reading of that. I like it.
Okay. I immediately wrote, okay, does Tae get to date Haeun now?
Yeah, you'd think they just slot her right into the date that he, you know, lost a person for.
Yeah.
But we get no information on that.
Yeah.
Also, when Tae introduces himself, he just says he's the editor of a clothing brand, and he leaves out the barista part entirely. I think he's learned his lesson from that time.
Yeah. Yeah, they introduce themselves, whatever. We know everybody. Mm-hmm. But then the participants themselves start to discuss the possibility of one person having two exes in the house. Here we go.
Yeah.
And this is great. Tae does such a good job of acting here. It's incredible.
Yeah, because I think it's Nayeon accuses him of, like, having an extra ex, and he's just like, why are you always trying to make me look so bad? I am not a player.
Yeah. But yeah, Tae did really good here. He really hid the fact that he had two exes in the house. Good job, Tae.
Yeah, I think, like, at first, like, they thought she was coming in not having an ex on the show at all. And then they, like, the first assumption is that everything was as they thought it was. All the people in the house had exes in the house, and that she was just a random new person to mix things in. But then they confirm that she's like, I have an ex who is or will be in the house, which is the best way she can be vague about it.
Yeah.
And then they all freak out.
I do like that they let her say that.
Yeah.
Because I think what they assumed is fair. Like, yeah, this is a show where you're supposed to have an ex in the house, but it's like, everybody doesn't need to have an ex in the house for it to be a show. So, but it makes it better that everybody in the house still knows that everybody in the house has an ex in the house. Like, that's the tension we want. So I'm glad she was able to at least say that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we find out Haeun did participate in the chat room last night.
Yes.
So she was on the other side talking to Nayeon.
Nayeon, yeah.
Because that's Gyumin's date. Yeah.
Yes. And it's important to note that Haeun is the person who famously wrote, I don't want him to date anyone in her intro letter for him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We're meeting the person who wrote that shit. Here we go. Let's go.
She also wrote, he used to be hot. I don't know about now or whatever. I'm paraphrasing that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Excited to meet this new person. And then the show reveals here, right, that the show is telling us officially, like, somebody did not have an ex in the house in the beginning.
Yes, but they're still, like, trying to be, like, coy about who it is, but it's like, you showed us Gyumin getting a text from his ex and being surprised about it. Like why are you trying to pretend you didn't give us this information already?
Yeah. And at this point, what was also weird is that it felt like they were saying, like, it was only going to be one person. And then I was like, yeah, my double X theory is fucking nailing it right now. Absolutely crushing it right now. Like, everything was falling into place. It was perfect.
All right. You keep living that dream.
And then the hosts are just shocked by this. How somebody was in the house with an ex? Oh my god, that must not have happened in season 1. Yeah. I think Wanbin goes to bed pretty immediately after.
Oh yeah, like as soon
Heian
as they
gets
finish
there.
introducing themselves, he's like,
He's like,
"Goodbye, I must
"Please
go.
let me sleep."
I watered so many plants today."
And then pretty shortly after that, Yuman decides to go to bed.
Oh yeah, he's just like,
which
"I
is-
gotta get up early or something, anything to get away from this awkward
Yeah,
situation."
this is very like
Bye.
this is very like classic first time in the house with the X strategy.
Yep.
So good.
And then Mingi also leaves because he just does not give a shit about things, I think, is mostly what happens with him. Like, I feel like
yeah,
he
we're gonna
just-
find out what happens with him.
Well, yeah. But he frequently just, I don't know, doesn't engage, I feel like.
Yeah. Essentially all the guys leave pretty fast, and then it's just the girls hanging out with Heian.
Mm-hmm. And she's like kind of offended and a little
Yes,
sad
she
that
is.
everybody just like fucked off. And I'm like, it is 1 a.m. It is time for sleeps, but okay.
Yeah. It didn't seem that crazy. I would be more like, why am I entering the house at 1 a.m?
Yeah,
Just couldn't
exactly.
wait till tomorrow. I guess they had plans for tomorrow, so production kind of just had to get it in there.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah.
The women, though, while they're staying up for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
they discuss some important questions there
Yes.
that you need to help me out with, okay?
Okay.
Are you more of a T-type man or a F-type man kind of person?
You're gonna have to remind me. What is it? Thinking versus feeling?
Yeah, I think so. This is like 1/4 of the Myers-Briggs
Uh-huh.
personality thing. They were like
well,
really into this though.
yeah. I'm gonna disappoint you with not pick. Like, I don't want an emotionless robot, but I also don't want an irrational like person who doesn't think things through.
I think the idea is like, what do they prioritize?
Mm-hmm.
Is the idea? It's not like you're just all 100% one or the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
It's just like which
No.
one do you prioritize is the idea.
But I'm like middle of the ground. Both things are important. Balance in all things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, seems like it shouldn't be a huge factor in actually
Yeah.
determining who you want to be. But they're
But
talking about
Nyan
like,
and Heian
yeah.
have like strong feelings. They like T-type men.
Yeah, the
Jion's
T-men.
like, nah. It's got to be an F-type man.
Yeah, T-boys and F-boys. Which one do you like?
And Jisoo's like, those T-boys are cool, but they have upset me a lot in the past. So, and like in the context of this, they're also talking about Wanbin in that he's the only guy in the group that is an F-boy instead of a T-boy. And so I just got to assume
This
that
is
both the
fucking-
guys that Jisoo dated after Wanbin were T guys, and they made her sad, and she's still longing for the days of when she was with Wanbin.
This is the fucking clip right here. The episode clip right here. The F-boys. F-boys and T-boys. That's what we're talking about right now.
Okay, yeah, I don't have to work hard on that then.
Out of context. What are we talking about here? And I wrote down like they're all going on dates tomorrow, right? But like they're not telling Heian at this point.
Yeah.
Like Heian's like, "What's everybody doing tomorrow? I've got no plans." And they're all like, I'm gonna be like
We won't
out
be
of the
here.
house." And she's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna be alone." And then, but I'm like, really? They're all leaving the house, and like they're not telling her why they're leaving the house. It's like super weird.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell her later, in the night. I don't know if like they had to make sure that they were allowed to. Like, I don't know why they didn't just tell her what was going on.
Yeah. It was a little weird.
And then the show is gonna confirm to the audience because they go to Tei and he's like crying, and I'm like, I know why you're crying, Tei.
Because he's missing one of his exes.
You're still upset about Yihyun. You drove her out of the house.
Well, that is all accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
He is upset about her, and he did kind of drive her out of the house a little bit.
And then the show is going to reveal to us what we already knew, and that's that Tei on the first 2 nights sent his text to Yihyun.
Yeah, they make it like a big reveal, like they also didn't reveal it already, because they definitely did.
I don't think they revealed that he would have texted Yihyun the 3rd time.
Yeah, but I think when he says that, he was like, yeah, I texted her the past 2 nights and I was going to text her again. I thought he already, like, I think it's the same
Oh.
clip they're reusing.
I don't know if he did that or not. I think we just are way overanalyze this, so we are well in the know on who texted who. And
Yeah,
maybe you wouldn't be if you just watched this like episode one time.
But yeah, in his confessional here, he's like talking about how he's like kind of struggling with what happened and like he just couldn't control his emotions.
Yeah.
I was feeling real bad.
Still very sad. And I
Very
wrote in
sad.
capital letters my note, because she's his ex, that's why he's upset. It makes sense. And I wrote, the host and the editor still trying to trick us.
Naturally.
But they are exes. Still. Okay.
Yes.
Where I'm not falling for this.
Okay.
You can't get me.
Can't trick you. Absolutely.
And then the girls are going to ask Heian what her ideal type is.
Yes. She likes someone she can respect, and she wants someone who is athletic and intelligent.
I like that answer.
Yeah, that seems real reasonable.
Respect, athletic, and intelligent. I feel like that's probably the best ideal type answer we've gotten out of anybody on the show.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe even like every Korean dating show.
Dating show.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Usually it's like somebody pretty. And then
Yeah, it's definitely better than when it's like, I like people with a cat face
yeah.
or versus a dog face or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's what they give us a lot of on Singles Inferno. It's a lot of like
Yes.
appearance based.
Mhm.
It's a good answer here from Heian. I like it. And then Tae's gonna join the women.
Yeah.
And then it seems like immediately almost that once Tae sits down, the women all decide to go to bed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did it actually happen like that, or is the show just continuously slamming Tae every chance they get?
Yeah, they're slamming him a little. But there was a little sliver in here where he talks
Oh
about how
my
he
God.
could make them a snack or whatever, and they're like, tomorrow, yes, make us food. And
Yeah.
so
But
they at least roped him
also,
into making
I'm
food.
going to bed. See you later, Tae.
Yes. But the show does show us in a little bit, like Nayeon is showing Haeun their room because that's the open bed, so they're gonna room together. And they don't have any clean towels because they haven't done laundry. And Tae overhears and brings them clean towels.
Yeah,
a
he's like
nice guy.
stalking their conversation.
I mean, they're loud and he's right next door. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it was fine. I'm warming up to Tae.
Yeah.
I slammed him in the hypothetical that he was Yehyun's ex and only Yehyun's ex.
Mm.
But now that he's Jihyun's ex, I'm fine with Tae. I'm good. I'm good with Tae. The show is slamming Tae though.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
They make him look undesirable and stupid every chance they get. And I don't
But
think it's a fair edit
sometimes-
at all.
Sometimes they're like, look, he's a sad boy. You should care about him. So I don't know that the edit, like, they're convinced on which way they want to go with him.
I
yet.
guess. I mean, like, the sad boy edit isn't like the ideal edit either, right?
But it is be sympathetic for the poor boy
Yeah.
who didn't wash his hair today. Or, it just
Yeah,
goes back
exactly.
and forth between the
I
two
think,
things.
yeah. I mean, if you cry on the show, like, it's probably going to make the edit.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't blame him for that one. Yeah, so Tae gets him a towel, and then I think it's like Jiyeon and Nayeon and Hae are like hanging out on the second floor girls' bedroom.
Mhm.
And they finally tell Haeun, like, hey, we're going on dates tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why we won't be here. And Haeun's like, oh, I see.
But Nayeon never tells her who she's going on a date with.
I don't think they're allowed to tell her. I don't know.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Jiyeon doesn't say who she's going on a date with either. And then the next thing I have is like, Haeun went down to get her luggage. And then she's on the first floor, and this is a weird move.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like she looks confused. I don't know why
Looks
the show
like-
set up this mystery. They set up this mystery for us.
I think she doesn't know which of the bedrooms down there is the guy's bedroom versus the girl's bedroom, and she wants to know where Human is.
Oh, you think she wants to know where Guman is, or is she trying to find Jiyeon? I don't know.
Oh, I think she's just trying to figure out what's going on down there and is kind of hoping to run into Human.
Oh, okay.
But I think the reason she looks so confused and waffles back and forth so much is because I don't think she knows which room is which.
Well, what actually happens, this is going to happen later, but I think she's confused because her luggage is like magically on the first floor. But she left
I
it
don't
at
think
the...
she's confused about that.
Oh, you don't?
No. She's probably just like, production brought it up here. Great.
Oh, you think so? I thought she was like looking for like somebody to thank for bringing her luggage up. Or so, I don't know. It's weird. She's just like awkwardly moving around the first floor, doesn't know where to go. But then she just like, I also thought like maybe her stuff was too heavy and she was like trying
Like
to
looking
get
for somebody
somebody.
to help her. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then she just
That was a
goes her stuff and
possibility.
like picks it up no problem and takes it up upstairs. So that's why it
Yeah.
was like a weird kind of, yeah. But yeah, she's gonna room with Nayeon on the second floor in the
Mhm.
Yihyun spot in bed.
Yes. They talk a lot about how Nayeon's excited for this date.
Yeah, she's excited about this date tomorrow with Gyumin.
She thinks her heart's gonna flutter. She's, totally excited about him as a person.
Nayeon's not saying who her date is with
Mhm.
yet, though.
And then they do talk about the whole birthday nonsense with Human that happened the day before. And I like there was a funny little bit in here where she's just like, he didn't even thank me for going and getting that cake for him. And I'm like, this man did not want this birthday attention. Why would he thank you for
Yeah,
this?
let's the women want some serious they want to be asked out on 4 dates and they want to be thanked for giving people things that they didn't want.
Yes. They have a clear set of rules,
I mean, if we didn't know already that Haeun's ex was Gyumin, which we should just know at this point. She does like weirdly mention like, oh, did Gyumin like bring up that it was his birthday? Like knowing as if like that would be uncharacteristic of him, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like it was kind of it was like a totally weird question to ask. Now I'm convinced that Nayeon was just like told by production to be like, hey, is anybody have a birthday coming up? Like I'm convinced that's what happened. It was such a weird thing
it does
to say.
feel like that. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Also, so the show, based on like what they showed the host saying, is like they really want us to think that like Nayeon and Haeun are both Gyumin's ex, I believe. And that actually, with that presumption, that like makes this scene kind of insane. Like it's like these two girls that are both the same person's ex talking about going on a date. It's actually, but
yeah.
That's not what it is, but that's what the show wants us to believe at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Haeun says to Nayeon that she wants someone new.
Yes.
She's here for someone new.
She doesn't have any regrets.
Yeah.
And these are lies. We will find out that these are lies.
She does not want to be with her ex, right? Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It is a little weird. Like, I don't know if the translation is just weird, but the phrasing it is like someone new instead of saying I'm not interested in my ex. It's like a little bit of a weird way of saying it for some reason. I don't know.
It's maybe like she's avoiding saying she's interested, and she like maybe she wants to want someone new, but that doesn't mean she's not interested in her ex.
I interpret it as like she just didn't want to say she wasn't interested in her ex.
Yeah, I think that's
but
what it is.
And like you could be like, well, my ex is new now; they're different.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if she's
Okay.
like word manipulating here or not. I don't know. It's hard to tell with the translation.
I think she just didn't want to say, no, I'm still just totally into my ex. And maybe she wants to want someone new, but doesn't actually,
If you just take it at face value, though, of this context that these are both Gyumin's exes, and then they're both like, yeah, I don't want to get back with my ex. That's an amazing
like, what
context.
the fuck did he do?
Yeah, what is... That's an amazing context.
Yeah.
If Gyumin is actually these two girls' exes. Oh, man. And then everybody's going to go to sleep, but Haeun can't sleep.
Yeah, she wanders around.
She got all amped up to be on the show, and then
everybody
the show
was tired.
Done for the night.
She goes out and she's like hanging in the drinking zone, looking sadly at the birthday balloons.
Yeah, she goes right to the birthday decorations.
Yeah,
I don't think the show is really being subtle. I don't know why they showed the hosts like so many times, like arguing over like who this girl's relationship was with the other people in the house. Like
the show was not hiding it.
I feel like they basically gave us the information, but like I think the host had like a small moment of confusion, and then they just chose to leave that in the edit.
Yeah,
but I'm sure the host figured this out pretty quickly. Also, they just showed their confusion for a moment. Yeah. It seems like Haeun goes to sleep finally at sunrise. Is that what you had? Okay.
Yeah.
So she stayed up for a while.
But then the next scene, it's night again, and it's Mingi coming into the house.
Yeah, this was super weird.
And I'm
where the hell
did he go?
Mingi been? Yeah. We saw him outside on the terrace with Tae previously.
But then he said he was going to the bathroom, and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
Until now.
And it's time to find out who Mingi's ex is. Exciting.
And it's very quick. They don't even try to trick us. It's Yihoon.
Ugh. What the fuck, Sarah?
I was right. Yeah.
So disappointed. What is a Yihoon?
What do you mean, what is a Yihoon?
Why did she exist in the state that she existed on the show? What
I don't know why she did anything she did. If anyone could explain that to me, it would make me immensely happy because she behaved so ridiculously.
It bothers me so much that we don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
Because I had it all figured out, I made logical sense of it, but nope. It's just a random act of randomness.
Yep.
According to the show.
Is chaos. I don't know.
Okay, fine. We'll move on with our lives. I'm a little upset.
But we get
the double X theory out the window.
The only information we get about Mingi and Yihoon's relationship is that it lasted 1 year, 3 months, and 3 days. And that's it. Because then we get Mingi confessing that he kind of knew that she was breaking the rules. And now he feels bad about everything. And it's time for him to leave the show too.
Yes. This is essentially when I thought that Tae and Yihoon were exes.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I thought was going to happen to Tae.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that once we know who her ex is, that this is what's happening. I'm still not convinced that Yihoon broke a rule.
I mean, I'm more and more convinced that she was in between agreeing to do the show and the show starting. She met someone and was starting to date them outside of the show, and that's where this all came from.
I think that's a fair explanation. I'm still not convinced that, she just didn't quit the show for whatever reason. She just couldn't stomach it or whatever.
Okay.
And then once she's just off the show, Mingi just can't be on the show anymore. They make it like Mingi quit. They tried to make it look like Mingi quit. But I think production was like, hey, we don't really want you
gotta
anymore.
leave.
And then his explanation is like, yeah, I guess I kind of knew that Yihoon was breaking the rules also. So I guess I should probably leave too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's actually like the reverse where Yihoon quit the show and they made it look like she got kicked out. And then Mingi got kicked off the show, but they made it look like he quit the show. I think it's actually the opposite.
I could buy that, yeah. I'm just super bummed because I wanted to see him go on this date with Jisoo. He was so cocky about it when he was talking to Wonbin in the chat room where he's like, I don't need to know anything about her. I'll find out on this date. I wanted to see that date so bad.
But do you think Mingi knows he's done at the time that he's doing the chat, right? So he's like, there's no reason to go through with all this because I'm about to leave the show anyway, kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't think so. His face was cocky face, though, he was just like,
because the chat was only a few hours before this, before the show picked up in this episode, right? So I think at the time of the chat, he already knows that he's done, and he's probably just doing the chat for the sake of the show before he leaves. So that's why he didn't really participate in the. Wonbin was like, you don't have more questions? And he's like, nah, I'll just
I would have thought that when he leaves the terrace in this episode and is going to the bathroom, that's when he gets swept up to have to go talk to production. And the reason he's coming back in the house in this one scene is because they pulled him aside to be like, you got to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's when they made it official or they had him sneak back in or something, but that doesn't mean they didn't talk to him before. They would have had ample opportunity to talk to him before he went into the chat room as well,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
They have him sequestered before that.
That's true. But yeah, then he just sneaks out of the house and doesn't say anything to anybody and just leaves.
Yeah, he just grabs his jacket and leaves.
Yep.
I think Yumin notices that he's up in the middle of the night and he's just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Ignore me. You haven't seen anything.
And he walks out into the dark, but he gets to go up the hill instead of down the hill. So.
Gotta go get his car, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then 40 minutes into this episode, we get the intro music.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mingi's gone. I'm glad Yihyun's ex is off the show. I thought it was Tae. I was slamming Tae because I was so confident, but, I'm glad Yihyun's ex is off the show. We're in the right spot. The show's doing the right moves here.
Yeah, but now we're back to like they just evened up the numbers and now we're uneven again. And I was looking forward to that Jisoo date.
You're looking forward to the Jisoo. I think you're looking forward to the Jisoo date for the wrong reasons. I don't think he had any
What?
plans.
Okay.
I don't think he had
Okay.
like plans specific for Jisoo. Like he had the shit figured out or anything.
I just like he seems so confident. I wanted to see like his
But
sweet
the
dating
confidence
style or
isn't actually
whatever.
confidence. It's just, what's the point of doing this? That's what I'm saying.
Mm,
Yeah.
I
Also,
know.
also, he was only texting his ex the whole time. Is what we
Yeah.
found out. So
Yeah. And then he got no text this night. Like if if he did leave on his own, like it does feel like he went, well, the only person I've been texting is gone and no one's texting me. So laters.
yeah, it makes sense. Okay, finally, the end of day 4. Are we past day 4?
Yes,
All
it's
right.
now time
Yes.
for some dates
Day
or
5,
a date.
episode 5, because we just got the title sequence. I
Yeah.
never noted the name of the episode until this one, but the name of this episode is "You Were Selected by Your Ex,"
Yes.
which I guess is referencing Human.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's it.
it's weird. Like the title of the episode was revealed after the moment that the title of the episode happens. So
Well, that's what
it's-
happens when you wait 40
Yeah,
minutes to put the
okay.
title in your show.
I'm used to like sometimes you can like see what the episode title of like the Survivor episode is, and then you can like just listen the whole. It's always like a quote that's gonna happen in the episode,
Right.
so you
Yeah.
just wait to be like, oh, I wonder who said that this episode, and you just wait for the confessional where somebody says it. Yeah, but here we go. It's date day. Let's go.
Yeah, Wonbin and Gumin are getting ready for their dates.
And the way they get ready, the first note that I have is that both Yumin and Wanbin have to go wake their dates up.
Well, Gumin gets there and she's in the shower.
Oh, is that where she was?
Yeah. It is there is a
Oh,
beautiful
okay.
symmetry here of awkwardness where Wanbin goes to get Jian, who is rooming with his ex, and she is not there to answer, so he has to talk to his ex. And then Gumin goes to get his date, who is rooming with his ex, but she's luckily still asleep, so he doesn't actually have to talk to her. I just love that this was an awkward, weird situation.
Wanbin like kind of knocked from the hallway, like pretty far away,
Mm-hmm.
and then was gonna walk away, but then Jisoo like heard the knock.
Yeah.
But Yumin kind of got up in the room with his knock. I thought he was a
Oh,
little.
yeah. He knocked and then like opened the door and just
Yeah.
kept calling her name. And I'm like, she would have answered back by now if that was gonna happen.
Yeah, and if I didn't know that Haeun was his ex, I would have thought that maybe his ex was Nayeon. Like I thought this would be evidence that his ex was, because he like wasn't that shy about going in the room to wake her
Hey.
up. Essentially,
If we've learned anything from this show, is that people will only act super comfortable with people who are not actually their exes.
yeah. What the fuck is that? And then Jian and Wanbin are getting ready, and Wanbin's
Mhm.
like, "All right, it's gonna be cold. We should probably get some clothes that are warm." And then Jian's like, "I really don't have any warm clothes." So Wanbin's like, "No problem. I'll go get some of mine." And he goes and he gets some layers that they can
Gets,
wear
like,
and be warm.
3 coats and a blanket is what she
Yeah.
says he gets.
Yeah, and then Jian gets in the confessional and just starts
Mhm.
slamming Wanbin and making fun of the fact that he's getting warm clothes for her. What is this?
Well, she's just like he went over the top. I don't think she's slamming him.
Did he though?
I think
She doesn't know where they're going and what the temperature is.
She does know where they're going. They're going to the land
What?
of where he once got dumped because he went to the military.
Yeah, but she doesn't know what the weather's going to be like. And, like, this is Wanbin's date. If he says you need layers, you need layers. Like, she just wants to complain about this guy. Like, oh, he didn't ask me out the right way, even though he doesn't want to date me. And he's not getting the right amount of layers
She
for
does-
my
she-
liking.
She tells him that he's so attentive, and in her confessional, she says her heart flutters a little bit. Like,
And then she just makes
she's
fun
not
of him.
slamming him.
Get away
She-
from this
this-
girl, Wanbin. She's talking shit about you behind your back. That's all I'm saying.
I think she's just being a little silly, and they're gonna have a lovely date where they get to talk about that book because he's not gonna talk about the drama of breaking up with Jisoo, which is what she wants.
They might. I don't know. He might get into it. We'll see. Most of this episode, though, as far as dates go, is going to be the Gumin and Nayeon date.
Yes.
I think we
Yes.
can just get into the human Nyan date.
No, first he comes to pick her up, and now Hyun is there getting ready for the day and is all like, goodbye. I'm sad. Don't mind me. I'm gonna be
Well,
alone all
in like
day.
a joking way though to
Yeah, but she's
them.
like, yeah, don't stay out too late. Like, come
Yeah,
back soon. Don't have a great time, please.
yeah. Yeah. And to remind people, Gumin's date is the first meeting spot
Yes.
of
Him and his ex.
him and his ex, which is
Yeah.
Hayan. And they went on a 4-on-4 blind date to a bar.
But we will see none of that this episode.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot that it was in the bar, and I was like, because they were gonna go to like this like palace kind of like fancy
Mhm.
walk around kind of park, and I was like, wait, is this where the blind date was? But no, it was in a bar, right? Okay, so they haven't even gotten to the location of the first meeting yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They're driving in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and we find out Gumin recently graduated after completing his military service.
I mean, he says that, or she says that, and he agrees, but I don't think any of that timing makes sense with what we find out later, but okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we find out later he's 29.
He was 21. He goes to do his military service, which is
Uh-huh.
2 years. I don't know how long it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes to school.
Year and a half, 2 years, yeah.
And then it's been like a year.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I guess I was assuming the school, like, he did a little bit before and then he did some after. Okay, the timing makes sense again. Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you think like 21, like, oh, he would already be in school, but it's actually like he could actually be like 19 in Korean age.
Well, he's 21 in Korean age, but it would be 19 in international age. I cannot wait until they fix this.
Like, he could have gone straight from like high school to the military and then done his full
College afterwards. Okay.
And then it's like
All
a
right,
year
that makes
plus
sense.
of doing his video work before he's
Yeah.
on the show. So
All
it
right.
makes
That'll make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back on board.
So he recently graduated as in the last like 2 years, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a moment where they are guessing that they went to the same college, or are they confirming this?
It sounds like they're confirming this. They definitely both had the same major where they studied physical education.
Yeah, they seem to guess that they went to the same college because they both had the same major.
Which seems weird. Maybe there's
Yeah.
only one place you get this particular degree. I don't know.
Also, Gumin majored in physical education and now he does music videos.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, that shit happens, sure.
Yeah, it happens.
And she majored in physical education and she's a TV person. So,
But she's in the realm of sports. It doesn't
That's
seem
true.
crazy,
That's true.
And then he's going to tell her where they're going, or at least like the section, the town, I guess, is.
It's like a section of Seoul. Like it's like
It's
a
section
neighborhood.
of Seoul. Okay, yeah.
Like a neighborhood.
Yeah. She's going to tell him what neighborhood they're going to. And she's going to say that she's never been there before. At which point I wrote, so they can't be exes because this is the first meeting spot. We are going to find out that they actually aren't going to the first meeting spot.
But I think they're still staying in the same neighborhood the whole time. So
Yeah. Basically the way that Nayeon acts this whole date, there's no way they're exes, right? Yeah. Like the things
absolutely.
are like they would have to be acting so insanely.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Which is not unheard of on the show. People acting ridiculously. So
I guess so. I just think it would be really, really dirty to the audience if you went this far. Yeah. So at this point, we can just say Nayeon's ex is not in the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems like the right assumption.
At this point, we just know everything.
We know everything. Yep.
Okay. We just don't know. We haven't met Nayeon's ex yet. So there
Correct.
should be one more guy added to the show. I'm guessing that's it.
Yeah, that seems right.
It seems like the right progression. Like last season, they did no extra people. This year, it's like, oh, they switched it up. Had 2 people not have exes in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3, though, Sarah.
Oh.
Double exes. It's happening. Yeah. Like they threw it out. The host did it. The participants did it. Season 3. Watch out for the double exes.
I'm ready for like Tae and all of his exes ever in a house with just some random other guys.
How many exes do you think
fill
Tae
out the
has?
roster? I would love to find out in season 3. Let's see.
I don't think you could fill out a cast with Tae's.
I don't know. Maybe he's gotten around. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, they go to like this cute little restaurant or whatever, and they have some lunch, and they seem to be having a good time.
Overall, she seems more excited than he does, I would say.
I think that's just because he's reserved. Like, I feel like he's consistently been a less excitable guy. Although I guess he's had some more outward cute moments with Jisoo,
With
maybe.
Jisoo, yeah. I wrote that the opposite, or I wrote that Nayeon might just be very bubbly, and she also doesn't care about the date at all.
She did tell Haeon that she was excited about this date
She
and
did,
about
yeah.
him as a person. So,
But she seems like a kind of person that would just be like, I'm doing something, might as well be excited about it.
yeah,
Kind of,
that's a decent approach.
Overall, as this gate goes, I think she is having a good time.
Yeah.
Even though you probably wouldn't be able to tell if she was not having a good time.
I think he is also having a good time.
You think so? Okay.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't think he's like hating the experience, but I don't think he's like looking at her as a serious option.
Interesting.
Because he's going to say in a confessional that he says he usually is not into like flashy show business people, which essentially is what Nayeon is, right?
Well, yeah, but I thought he was talking about like his first impression of her, not necessarily that that's how he continues to feel about her.
Oh, really? I mean, I think
thought it was in the context of they're getting along now. He's enjoying spending the time with her, but when he first met her, he thought he wasn't going to get along with her because she is that fancy showbiz type.
Oh. My perception of Nayeon is that she's like kind of always on, and even with like how she talks to Yumin like back and forth is as if like, she would be like on like on a TV show, or like how she would act in an interview. Like I feel like it's not that she's being fake, but this is just her like being a show business kind of person all the time,
She's got that sort of big personality.
I thought he was very much talking about like how she is all the time, not necessarily like first impressions, but you could be right. I don't know. And then Yumin's gonna get a little cocky here. He's gonna pull a Tae. He's gonna say he tells Nayeon to her face that he knows who her ex is.
Yeah.
Which is super funny because her ex is not even in the house.
Yes, exactly. And she's just like, I'm not gonna ask you to say who it is. Just whatever. I would be so curious to see who he thought my ex was if they weren't even in the house. Like,
that's so funny.
I would need to know every detail of how he came to that decision.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. And it's like the dumbest shit ever. He says in a confessional that he thinks Nayeon's ex is Mingi. The whole house does not know that Mingi is off the show yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just snuck out.
So they're just like casually still talking about Mingi, like it's no problem. But he says Nayeon and Mingi are exes because they're both cheesy. What?
Maybe you're right. Maybe he's not enjoying this date as much.
I feel like he's like, I don't really like Mingi or Nayeon, so they're probably exes. He mentioned like they were playing some kind of game that like the way you talk to each other was something, but I feel like there was more context to what he was saying, but to me, all that I got was he just thought they were cheesy people, and they must have dated because of that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not totally unfair. Like, people that are like nerdy, I guess, are like more likely to have been compatible in the past, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's not totally unfair. It's just so random that he said that. No, knowing what we know, it's just crazy. Yeah.
That's why it's funny. Yeah.
And then Gumin's pretty good here. He does a really good job of like not remembering Haeun's name.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good.
He's like asking her of her impression of Haeun. Yeah, that her name was Haeun.
Oh, who's your new roommate? What's her name? Yeah, he did good. I think Nayeon has no idea. Nayeon has no idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good job, Gumin. I didn't rate what they were asking each other, but I was just like, they can't be exes. Like, this is too many ridiculous questions to ask each other. If you were talking, like you're asking them about you, like you can't.
Yeah. She was like,
do this to me,
asking why he broke up with his ex. And...
Yeah, you can't do this to me, show. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So they just can't be exes. Okay. If we find out that Gumin had 2 exes in this house, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay.
But yeah, we find out that he broke up with his ex because he thought she was being like really inconsiderate of him. Like she wasn't worrying about him, I guess, and that prompted him to break up with her.
Yes, that's how he describes it. And then I feel like he says that he dumped his ex But it
Mhm.
felt the way he answered it was just a little bit like, according to him, he dumped his ex. Like I wasn't fully confident that he was like
Uh,
giving the right side, the full
mhm.
story here. That's how I felt. It was something about how he
Okay.
said it that just like didn't seem like he was like, oh yeah, like I was the first one to mention that maybe we should break up. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
like make it happen, but it was my idea. You know,
Yeah,
like something like that.
yeah.
Then Nyan says something super interesting.
Yeah.
She says, I would have regretted breaking up with you if I had broken up with you.
Yes.
But I feel like this gets no reaction from Guman in a way that I just felt like the
Yeah.
translation was wrong. That is, it seems like such a strong thing to say, right?
Yeah, it does.
You might as
Yeah.
well be professing your love for a person if you're saying this, right?
Well, I don't know if it's that far, but like it is definitely rather flirty, like
Like, who would you say this to if you were not like totally infatuated with them?
I think there is room to be playfully exaggerating on a first date.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the context in which I would say something like this as like a joke.
Well, you don't have Nion's personality.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not picking up the tone. Like maybe you say it with like a kind of like funny, sarcastic voice.
Yeah.
Like I would totally regret breaking up with
Hmm.
you if I broke up with you.
Yeah. There's a way to deliver
Okay.
that
All
line
right.
that's not that extreme.
All right. Nyan can pull it off. I buy it. Okay.
He still doesn't like respond in a way that's useful. He's just like, she might actually hate me.
Yeah, I don't think Human is worried about whether Nyan likes him or not.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's just thinking about somebody else, and it doesn't seem like it's his ex either. It's got to be Jisoo, right? Like, that's who.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would hope so.
And then they hash out what their exes said about them. This
Yes.
gets a little spicy here. I like this.
She's asking him if her ex said anything bad about her. And he's just like, no, he was mostly just vague and didn't really give me any hints. And she's like, well, what did you ask him? I'll give you some hints. Like, she's bringing her flirting game here.
And we haven't met this guy, so we actually have like no idea what he would have said.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that she likes to eat at nice restaurants,
Yes.
which she
And apparently,
confirms
like,
is true.
yeah, like all of their dates were just going somewhere to eat. Like it sounds like they did not have a creative dating life at all.
This goes along with Wanbin's "she's rich" theory, right? Like
Yes,
nice
that's true.
restaurants, golf, and tennis.
Mhm.
This is
Yep,
Nyan's
yep,
life.
yep. And we find out it's been less than a year since she and her ex broke up.
Yeah, that was good information. That's really soon. That's sooner than everybody so far.
Yes.
That's going to be sooner than everybody, right, on the show. I think
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah, I
at
think you're right,
least
yeah.
a year, so less than a year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she is the least likely to want to get back with her
Yeah,
ex at this point.
it's too fresh.
Yeah.
Human is going to tell Nyan that he thinks her ex still has feelings for her.
And she is going to say the same to him about his
Yeah,
ex.
yeah. But that contradicts. Now, Nyan doesn't know she was talking to Haeun,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but Haeun told Nyan last night that she wanted someone new. So there's a contradiction
Yeah.
here.
But earlier in the night, when she was anonymous, she told her, I don't want you to date, or I
Yeah.
can't support your dates with my full heart, or whatever.
But I feel like even to the audience at this point, it's like, do we trust Nyan's instincts in a chat room conversation, or do we trust Haeun's word more?
Well, I don't even know that it's instinct with the chat conversation. The chat conversation is very much like, I can't say I don't have feelings for him, and
Oh, yeah,
I can't
that's
say
true.
I would support you having a good
Well, we
time
don't
with
know
him.
that at this point. We get that later.
I mean, we
right?
saw that conversation in the last episode.
Oh, we got the whole thing.
Yeah, we got the whole thing. We just didn't know who was on the other side.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about it like that. Okay. Yeah, I think at this point we just know that Haeun was definitely lying. I guess you put that together faster than I did. I was a little bit like, okay, what's real here? But
I mean, that's fair. At this point,
Yeah.
question everything about the show.
Haeun is definitely still interested in Human.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because now
Yeah.
we cut to her at the house, and she's sitting sadly in the living room.
Yeah.
And she's crying in a confessional, and she's
She's
crying
actually
in the closet.
alone in the house. Like, what
And
the
she's
hell
crying in her
happened?
room, and she's crying in the living room. There's so many. She cried all over that fucking house while everyone was gone.
Yeah. I guess everybody has work, and like the two people that might not have work are on a date together, right? Wanbin and Jiyeon.
Yeah, they're out on
They're
a date,
students.
and then Human and Nayeon are out on a date, and then Taeyi's probably at the coffee shop. Mingi snuck out in the morning.
Yeah, Mingy's not there actually, so it's really just two people have work.
Yeah, Jisoo probably has work.
It's just two people have work. Okay, that's not that crazy. Yeah. It's not that crazy that nobody's there.
It is a Monday. Like, it's a day when people might have work, you know?
I just wrote in my notes, like, where the hell are Tae and Jisoo? Are Tae and Jisoo on a secret date that the show hasn't told us about yet? Because they paired them up after they knew Mingi was out of there.
I would enjoy that. That would be great.
That would be something to watch. All right.
I would love it. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Haeun is alone, and she's crying.
Everywhere.
And she's sad that her ex acted like he didn't know her.
Which is exactly what he had to do.
At which point I wrote my notes. That's literally the point of the show. What did you think you were getting into when you walked in this house? Yeah.
I mean, I do get it from a certain perspective. Like, I've had that moment where, like, I'm in the same place as an ex, and then, like, he acts like you don't exist, and it just, like, feels bad. But she should have prepared herself a little bit for that, because he has to pretend he doesn't know her.
Yeah. And I wrote, I feel like she's actually sad because Gumin is on a date right now.
Also,
more than whatever happened last night. You know?
She is sad about it all. A lot, I think. Just the whole thing.
And what do you know, Sarah? It's time to reveal Haeun's ex. Let's go.
I wonder who in this house is left. Wait, there's only one person left, so it's Gumin. Surprise.
Gumin, duh, is what I wrote. They show them meeting in the cafe before the show, and Haeun definitely starts to immediately cry, but I feel like they both. I guess maybe he's crying because she's crying. You think, or do they?
But also, both... like, his eyes were really like kind of bloodshot out. Like, I feel like he was crying before. He got there.
I think they were both crying.
Yeah. They just immediately both start crying. He's just a little more subtle about it.
And I wrote, like, damn, like legit crying, like not just not like whatever Wanbin was doing when he was crying when they met.
Yeah,
like legit crying. And Haeun, I don't know if this is the very first thing she said, but early on in the conversation, Haeun says, "I missed you."
Yes. And he says that he missed her too.
No. I don't think so.
He says it at some point.
Ooh. See, I specifically wrote in my notes, Gumin does not reciprocate this. I missed you.
Not immediately, but at some point he does.
Like, Haeun's like, "I missed you." And then Gumin's like, "How have you been?" Like, he did not say, "I missed you back." Yeah.
But eventually he does say that he missed her too.
Oh, to her face?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't have a lot of details in my notes next to "he missed her too."
I thought immediately, like, it was like, it's like if like somebody says "I love you" and then you don't say it back. It was like that kind of moment. Yeah. Oh, that was good.
But yeah, so what we could gather from this is that he was the one to apply for the show and call her to be on the show.
Which is super weird, right?
Yeah.
It seems wrong.
Because she's the one that very clearly wants to get back together, and he doesn't.
Was he interested in getting back together, or was open to it, and then met her in this cafe and was like, nah. Just nah. Like, he was like, "I thought there was a chance, but nah." Is that what happened?
I did not read this as him being very much nah. I think, like, he still has some feelings about her. I wouldn't say he's entirely cut off to the possibility.
You think so? Okay, you think he's open to it?
I think he's open to it. I think she wants it a lot more than he is open to it.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know.
You don't think he's into it at all?
I'm not getting any vibes from Gumin that he's like. I mean, we're gonna get into like what he said to her in like the in the chat room on night one. All right, we'll get to it. Okay.
I just think he is not as emotive.
There's a difference between not being emotive and then not having like any sense of sensitivity on a subject.
Okay.
All right, we'll get to it. Okay. All right. We quickly get the sense that they dated a while ago.
Yeah, she says that they met when they were 21 and they're now 29.
Yeah. A group blind date at 21.
2014. Yeah.
And I think she says like she wasn't allowed to date
Or she just didn't date before
until
that?
she was
Like,
20, or yeah, something
yeah.
about it. Yeah. So this was like her first dating experience at all, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you said they dated until they were 29.
No, they're 29 now.
Oh yeah, sorry. They're 29 now, which means Guman did turn 30,
Yeah.
but
Or
Nyan had no idea that was
wait,
the case,
wait,
right?
wait. No, because his age would have gone up on the first of the year. So even though it's his birthday, his age wouldn't have changed because that's how Korean age works. So he's still 29 on the
Oh,
show.
he's still 29, but
Yeah. But still, yeah.
but when you celebrate your birthday in Korea, what age are you celebrating?
The age that you turned on the 1st of January.
Really?
Yes. You stay the same age, you just celebrate on that day.
Oh, okay.
It's all going away soon. In the summer, the law is changing. They're going for international age. Life will be less confusing.
Okay, okay. Okay, so they met on a group blind date when they were 21.
Mm-hmm.
They did that thing. I feel like I've seen this. They did this. I think they did this on Heart Signal. I've never seen this before, but it's like, I guess when you go on these blind dates, you like the girls like put an item from their purse on the table, and then the guys like pick the item.
And then they are on the date with the girl. Yeah, I've never heard of this before.
I thought on a group blind date though, you would just be like, "Oh, I'm like group dating everybody."
Yeah, you're like chatting as a group and then pair off with who makes sense, but I guess not.
But Guman like specifically tried to pick her item and succeeded, and she wanted him to pick her item.
So from the beginning, they were drawn to each other, which is cute.
Yeah, but Guman, when they met at 21, Guman was joining the army 80 days later.
Yes.
And he told her about it, but she still agreed to date him.
Yep. And then they fucking made it work, because that's what you do, Jisoo. You visit, you don't just give up before you go to the army. Sorry.
I mean, to each his own.
I guess. It's just, you can make it work if you want to make it work.
But you don't have to. You can be like, let's take a break. It's fine.
I guess.
Do what you gotta do. Because this sounds like a lot of work here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna stop talking about Wonbin.
Oh, I'll bring up Wonbin when we get to it. Here we go.
Okay.
I got some things to say.
Okay.
All right, they're both each other's first love.
Mm-hmm.
That's
very
fun.
Cute.
Here we go. She visited him every week in the army.
And it took her 4 hours to get back and forth.
4-hour subway ride every Friday to visit for the weekend.
Yep.
That's some fucking commitment.
Yeah.
For an 80-day relationship.
But they, they got on real well.
Yeah. It looked great.
They had, it was almost like if you had been together for longer than before you went to the military, it might even be easier to commit to keeping the relationship alive. It's just a thought.
All right. I'll put you down. You get in a relationship with somebody that is going to the military, you better stick with that person. You're fucking penciled in. You're putting yourself into a corner here.
I'm just saying, you can make it work.
If your relationship is more than 80 days, you got to stick it out for 2 years.
To be fair to Jisoo, we don't know if there was more things, or if we're just assuming it's just because he went to the military. If there are other reasons to break up, sure. But if it's just the military...
Even if it was only the military, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
If she doesn't want that, she doesn't want that. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But Wonbin was so sad. Did you see how sad he was?
Well, someone's going to be a lot sadder, in my opinion, from
what's
true. About to go down here. So we're saying for like 2 years every weekend.
Yes.
In order to keep the relationship going.
She wrote him letters, and he still has all of the letters. And I don't know, it's cute.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, she did the long subway ride. Almost like Wonbin always did the long subway ride to take Jisoo home every day. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't 4 hours, but yeah.
It wasn't 4 hours, but I don't know. There's some time that got put in on the subway.
I'll say this, Sarah.
Yeah.
I've never had to join the military before. But if I did, a girl coming to visit me every weekend would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good.
Yes, that would be nice. Okay. We're all on the same page here. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
All right.
Good effort on this couple for, she did the good work of, putting the effort in.
I believe they get through the army.
Mm-hmm.
He's out 2 years-ish later. And then she is preparing at some point she's starting to prepare to be a flight attendant.
Yes, which she describes this training as being the hardest time in her life.
Yes. It was so hard, this is a little weird, that
Mhm.
she felt like she couldn't even talk to Gyumin about it. That's not a good sign for a
Yeah.
relationship if you can't talk about
That
the
is,
hardest point in
yeah,
your life. Yeah, that's not good.
that's true. But so she basically went off the grid
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
and he was like, "It's fine. I'll wait for you when you're not busy. Come back to me. Let's go."
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
See, like that's what Jisoo could have said to Wonbin. While you're gone, I'm just gonna go off the grid, and then when you're back, you just give me a call.
I don't think he took it that way, but okay.
Yeah, you know. But like that is a little crazy. To be so
Yeah.
busy that you need to be off the grid. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign for a
I don't know.
relationship right there.
Maybe flight attendant training is like really super rigorous. I know nothing about it, so
Yeah, but it's like, oh, it's so rigorous. Like I can't even text you. Like,
yeah,
it's so much.
I don't
It
know.
doesn't feel right. Unless in order to be a flight attendant, like you literally have to go off the grid because the training is so secretive.
Maybe
something, yeah.
more secretive than being in the military.
Did she get severanced?
Ooh, maybe
And
she
then
got severance.
She had to go join, like, get all the highly classified flight attendant training.
Yeah.
And then
when she came back, she would
when
be
she
her.
contains,
Yeah.
she retains the information. Okay, it's not quite severance.
Mm.
'Cause
Unless
she
she
retains the training.
still, unless every time she gets on a plane, she flips over to
Oh,
self,
yeah.
you know?
Maybe she is severanced. Okay, we're figuring it out. That's
Yeah.
the
Total sense.
best working theory so far.
Anybody that skips the beginning part is going to be so confused right now.
Does anybody skip the beginning part on this podcast? Because we
I don't know.
don't give people timestamps, so I feel like they don't, unless they just like press skip until they get to us talking about the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I'm
might.
definitely leaving this part of the podcast in, by the way. So people can tell us.
Yes. Do you
What they
skip the
do.
beginning? Are
Yeah.
you very confused
Do you
right
want
now?
timestamps if you do skip the beginning? Maybe we could do that for you.
Yeah, she's off the grid, but then she comes back and everything's good. They go on a lot of trips together. They have a lot of really fond memories of their time together. We see so many pictures of them being very young and just looking like little junior babies. And then like the year above like their pictures and stuff just keeps progressing. And I'm like, this is a much longer relationship than I anticipated.
And not only when she like came back were they good, but like Yumin was like really excited about her passing, and like he was like so excited that he like couldn't wait to tell his own parents.
Yes.
I mean, maybe he's just excited that she's back on the
Back.
grid. Back on the grid, yeah.
Yeah.
More than anything, but you know, he waited and he was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Why did this long-lasting, seems good relationship end? Let's get into it.
I don't know that I'm super clear on it, but in February 2020, this is like 6 years after they started going out, he was really sick and working on a music video, and he collapsed one morning.
Yeah, it's like a very specific moment in time that he's like referencing.
Yeah.
Was he sick for a long time? Or is he literally talking about, I happened to collapse from illness and then this shit happened?
I'm like trying to piece together things, and it's like maybe she wasn't, because he said before that he broke up with her because she wasn't very considerate of him. So maybe it's like he's been really busy with work and sick, and she's not like being kind to him or like doting on him, or maybe she's expecting something from him when like clearly he's having a rough time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know, if he's struggling with stuff and he feels like she's not being supportive, or she's like she's like annoying him for not being there or something. Like I don't know. Like something makes sense, but the way he described it was like this very specific moment in time that made it seem like it was a very like abrupt almost breakup.
Well, it feels like maybe it's like the final straw.
I guess
that,
so, yeah.
Like over time he has seen this her not being considerate of him, and then like he got to the point where he collapsed and she wasn't there for him or whatever. And he's just like, no, it's not gonna work.
So he collapsed, and I guess she was like, why aren't you calling me and asking about my travels and why aren't you blah 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 blah? And then he like called her back up and just broke up with her on the phone.
Yep.
What the fuck? I'm not buying that. I'm not buying this, Sarah. I'll say this right now.
Okay.
There's
what
more to
are
this. There's more to this
you-
fucking story.
Do you have a theory on the more to this story?
I don't know. I don't know. Was there another man on the traveling with the flag? I don't know.
That's what
Like,
I was almost thinking. Like, she
yeah.
is
Or is there
very
another woman and he's just using this as an excuse? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. But in like when they're in the cafe together talking, like she is very regretful and like puts the blame on herself for this relationship ending.
Yeah, but she describes it in a similar way that he described it, like not being considerate,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a very like soft way of being like, I cheated on you, or like something. Yeah,
I did not consider
wasn't
the feelings
considerate
you would
of
have
how you would feel
while
if
I
I-
hooked up with someone else.
Yeah. The reason I'm not buying this, Sarah, is just like this girl fucking traveled 4 hours every week to see you in the military, and you broke up with her on the phone.
But years have passed. They have grown and changed. And also, he was probably still sick. I think he's still sick and could not go out to be like, we're breaking up face to face. I'm assuming they didn't live together. Or maybe I guess she was working in another.
Yeah,
city
I'm
or
assuming she
something.
travels a lot, like they don't
Yeah.
necessarily, they're not spending every day together necessarily or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah. I think she just said she's domestic airlines, so she's not leaving Korea, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so in theory, like she could be back home every day, like depending on the timing of.
Yeah, I
I
guess you
don't know.
could, but I would imagine you're not on a
Yeah.
exact schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there's something more to this.
Mm,
I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I mean, you're young. I like kind of get it, but
it's just a little too sketchy on the details.
for a girl to stick with you, not only stick with you throughout like a military
Mhm.
service, not only stick with you, but like she's actively visiting you like all the time.
Yeah. She did the most as a military girlfriend.
This just seems such a harsh way. I mean,
Mm.
it's totally possible she was like super annoying and it lasted for a really long time, but even then it's like, how do you not first be like, talk about how you feel about how they're talking to you or whatever
Mm.
before you get to I'm breaking up with you over the phone. It just doesn't
Yeah.
feel, it feels like there has to be something severe that happened more than just like, oh, she was inconsiderate, so I broke up with her on the phone after 6 years.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, he does say that they had a lot of little problems that were all like building up. So I don't know, maybe they had been like distancing each other anyway. Like these things were.
A 6-year relationship.
I
I
don't know.
mean, it sounds like, like even though they had a 6-year relationship, like they're still only seeing like 2 days a week, and then she was off the grid, and then she's still a flight
Mhm.
attendant. So I don't know, like in relationship years, if it's really the equivalent of like a full 6-year relationship, but it just feels like they should have like a better. I mean, maybe this is just evidence that they shouldn't be together. Like they should just have a better rapport with each other where they can talk about
Yeah.
their feelings,
Yeah.
and like
yeah.
the fact that she had to go off the grid because she was training for flight attendant school, like that's already like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a super cool relationship that I'm fine with. Like if they're just two independent people who like each other and they do their own thing, and sometimes they have to go off the grid from each other to do whatever they have to do outside of their relationship. That's cool too. But clearly,
It didn't
at
work
least
out in the long
one
run.
at least
Yeah.
one person didn't like how that was working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they never were like emotionally stable enough to be able to talk to each other about it. I don't know. It's just
Mm.
super weird. It feels like they
Yeah.
had to have had a better rapport than it just to be inconsiderate being
yeah,
the reason. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more.
Yeah, I hope so. Just because I am just like Gian, I'm out here for this drama. I want to know all the details.
Okay, I think this happens in the cafe. This is like me being like, I don't think Human is I
Mm.
don't think Human is here to make
Okay.
things happen with her. Human tells her to her face, I believe, in the cafe, yeah, I hated you after we broke up. Which makes sense. I mean, he broke up with her on the phone. That's like
Yeah.
pretty intense
Yeah,
level
yeah.
of hatred. Yeah.
But he also says that he also had regrets and that it's not just one person's fault that their relationship fell apart.
In the sense that, like if he didn't try to pursue his career. I don't know. Like you can always like kind of spin it to say a nice thing that you don't really mean, you know.
I
In the
guess.
context of like if he
Yeah.
didn't pursue his career and was just always there for her, you know,
I guess.
it would
Yeah.
have helped the relationship. Yeah.
Or if he had, called her to talk things through instead of breaking up with her on the day. You know?
Yeah. I'm assuming the lack of communication was both ways. So yeah, I guess what he's
Yeah.
saying is true. Yeah. So yeah, they dated for 6 years and 4 months, and they broke up 1 year and 3 months ago.
Yes. So far and away, the longest relationship on this show.
Yeah. And then Haeun in a confessional, I think, says she 99% loves him and 1% hates him.
Yeah, she said.
She says love, right?
She said before they met up in this cafe, it was half and half, and after the meetup, it was just 99% love. Like she wants to see him again, she misses him, she wants to talk to him all the time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense.
And then he says something in a confessional where he's like, "At first, I couldn't wait for my ex to come to the house, but now she can take her time. I'm getting used to it here."
Yeah, there you go. They go back to Gumin talking to Haeun on the first night in the chat room. And
Yeah.
Haeun asks him, "Is there somebody you like in the house?" is what she's asking.
Yes.
And we believe he's into Jisoo. And
Yes.
he just says yes. Or like he says yeah. He basically says yes.
Mhm,
And then in
mhm, yeah.
Haeun's confessional, she's like, "I thought he would say no out of courtesy."
Now who's not being considerate?
And I agree with her. Like
Yeah,
you would
yeah.
think your ex would say no to you even if it wasn't true, but the fact that he's willing to say, "Yeah, I like somebody in the house," is like, I don't really give a shit if I make you upset.
But like also isn't the point of this conversation to help them theoretically get over their exes quicker so they'll start dating other people? Like what benefit does it have to just lie to her to protect her feelings now so she thinks she has a chance?
That's the goal of the show, right? But that's not Gumin's goal. Like he doesn't.
But like if you're talking to your ex and there's no chance you want to get back together again, like you don't want to be like, "Oh no, I'm not interested in anybody." Like you don't want to give her this false sense of hope if you're not into getting back together with her.
But if you were interested in getting back together, you wouldn't say that you were interested in somebody else, right?
Some people might if they wanted to like play games and try to make somebody feel jealous. I don't know that that's a human move.
I don't think
but
that's
like,
what Gumin's doing.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying this is my evidence that Gumin
he's not into
is
getting back
not
together
into
with
getting
her.
back
Yeah.
together. And I think Haeun is having the correct interpretation of what
Yeah.
it means by what he's saying. And I wrote, Gumin really seems to not like Haeun.
Mm.
I think there's a significant amount of hate still.
Yeah, he never clarifies where he is now on the love-hate scale. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get his love-hate scale. It's definitely like 0% love, but how much hate?
I think there might be at least 1% love just because they did spend so much time together. At least there's a nostalgic feeling for when times were good.
50% hate, 1% love, and 49% indifference. Then we get this clip of Gumin was the one who like secretly carried Haeun's luggage from like
Yes.
the entry to the house up the stairs to like the first floor.
Mhm. So maybe he's, maybe that 1%'s like a 2% love,
Yeah, I mean, I would have done this whether or not I was somebody's ex. I would have just done it
Okay.
and then not been like, "Hey, look at me! I brought your luggage up. Aren't I the best?" Like, it's just a nice thing to do. But maybe
Yeah.
he was extra aware of it because, I mean, he's definitely conscious of the fact that his ex is in the house, so he
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
noticed that the luggage was left down there
Mhm.
more than anybody else did. I'm not reading too much into that.
Okay.
But I took that as like, that's why she was confused. So she's like, "Why? How did my luggage get up here?" Haeun says in a confessional that she didn't realize that everyone was going to hear that she didn't want anyone to date Gumin.
Yeah, she didn't know that he was going to read her
It wasn't,
letter in front
it wasn't
of everyone.
presented to her that this was an introduction to the house. It was just like, write something to your ex.
Yeah, now she's basically infamous for this.
Everybody brings up with Gumin like, "Oh, your ex doesn't want you to date anybody." Overall, I think this is an amazing story. Yeah, I think this is the best storyline of the show so far. This is my favorite. My favorite
Yeah.
ex couple so far.
I think this is the person everybody told us about.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is coming in Well, they said it was a woman, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I don't think there's any more women joining, but
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, this character might become a drag if
Mm,
like it sounds like she might be a little become like obsessive.
yeah, and everything is just now she's crying over here.
I wrote in my notes though, like I legit feel for Heian though.
Oh yeah, yeah. That scene where they flash back to him picking Nyan up for their date, and they just show her face after they left, and she's just like so sad.
Oh yeah, that was amazing, amazing camera decision.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I legit feel for Heian, unlike how I feel for Wanbin. You know, it's totally
Okay,
opposite. Whereas, like,
interesting.
I mean, if Wanbin is upset about being broke up with, he's upset about being broken up with. But like the circumstances, as we know them now, of
Hmm.
how Heian got broken up with versus Wanbin, like Heian is like so much worse
Okay,
from the
I'd say
information we
we
have.
don't know a lot of details, and at least like Heian is also acknowledging that like she did some stuff that prompted the breakup, so it's not like
Yeah,
she got broken up with out of nowhere
she's
for
also
no
like
reason.
trying to get back with him though, so she might be like taking more of the blame than
Mm,
she necessarily
okay.
deserves, and if she's like really desperate.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But like a 6 year relationship versus less than 2 years or whatever Wanbin and Jisoo were,
Yeah.
and like Heian was the person going to the military every week to see the person that went to the
Mhm.
military. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she was in it for a guy she met 80 days ago. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
and then that guy stayed with her for years afterwards. Like you have to be thinking at that point that like this is like a
This is
super,
it.
this is
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the pain that Heian is feeling feels way more legitimate to me than any other
Mhm.
relationship in this house, basically.
Okay, okay.
And I like it. I'm in it. I'm
Okay.
in it. Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
This is the good stuff here.
Yeah, definitely.
I have legitimate sympathy for this one, whereas
Mhm.
the other ones are no, they're just short term flings of young people
Wow.
doing things, you know.
Okay, okay. I still feel real bad for sweet baby Wanbin.
But like Jian said, like there's a lot of stories like Wanbin and Jisoo. There's not. I don't think there's that a lot of these Heiyun and Gyumin stories. This is more rare here.
Okay, probably.
All right. Now that we're done with that all fun stuff, let's go back to the date with Gyumin and Naya.
It is such an abrupt change.
Yeah, it's so
We're
funny.
just like sad times to oh, it's nice outside. Let's have a date.
Heiyun's back at the house crying about Gyumin, and then it's like, all right, let's go see what Gyumin's having fun doing.
Yeah, and they end up going to a palace, like an old timey fancy palace, and there it's like a big park area too, and they're going through there and taking pictures of each other, and it looks like they're having a real fun time. Looks like a cute date.
Yeah. And I was like, is this where the blind date was? But yeah, I think you're right.
They still haven't made it there.
Yeah.
I did not know he was allowed to plan a whole other date that comes before the date that's supposed to
Yeah.
replicate his first date.
See, this is more like Heart Signal, where it's like whenever they go on a date in Heart Signal, it's like it's an all day event.
Yeah.
Anything else from this?
Nyan like talks about like how she never went on dates like this with her ex. Like they were always just ordinary, boring, like I guess restaurant based dates
They
with
just
her
went to
ex.
fancy restaurants and played golf and tennis. It was boring.
Yeah,
That boring stuff.
yeah. But so this is an exciting new, fun date for her, and she's really enjoying it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I wrote Nyan seemed to have a good time.
I think Human had at least a decent
I think,
time too.
I mean, you're with a pretty girl doing date stuff. It's not like a bad time,
Yeah,
even if you are thinking
exactly.
about somebody else the whole time. You're just on a TV show. It's whatever. It's
Yeah,
good. It's not
fine. Yeah,
bad. Yeah. That's the end of the episode.
yeah. We finally got to a date, but we did not finish the date or get to the part of the date that was the theme of the date. But okay.
The show just stops when it stops,
Yeah, it does abruptly, weirdly stop.
Sometimes it's on a good cliffhanger. This one was just kind of like, yeah, we gotta wrap this up. Whatever the time slot is in Korea. We want to talk about the next episode preview. What's happening next time?
It looks like we're gonna see the Wanbin Jion date, so that's
Yes.
good.
They're like kayaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Doing
gonna be
some fun outdoor stuff. Yeah, yeah, it's nice.
Is Wanbin the athletic type that that Heian is
Heyoon.
looking for? Yeah.
I mean, I think we're gonna find out.
I mean, he's also a physical
Education
major,
person. So there you go.
Okay.
Solid maybe.
Because Nyan has shifted to Tei, right? We can make that happen.
Yeah. I like that as a pairing, yeah.
And then Wanbin can shift over to Aeon because it's not working out with her ex. And we got Gyumin and Jisoo.
Yeah.
Who's left? Who am I missing?
Jiyeon with whoever Nyan's ex is. There you go. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Done. Nicely packaged.
Hopefully he's got Tei vibes. Hopefully he's tall. What are we looking for here?
Yeah, probably tall, so that way he doesn't mind that she's tall. And what did she want? Somebody to take care of her, someone who's considerate. I think that's what she was looking.
Melding everybody's types.
Well, they're all very vague and basically just like, I want a nice guy who also is hot. I mean, which is fair, but yeah.
I'm not totally sure.
She wanted not a sweeter guy, but
Nyan wanted a sweeter guy.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar vein of like she is used to dating a certain type of guy and she wants to date a different type of guy and just a nicer.
I don't know if that's true though, because she's only interested in her ex.
I mean, as far as what she's told people, whether or not, like, yes, clearly she just wants to get back with Tei, but as far as what she said, she's done with her old kind of dates. She wants like a responsible person who's taking care of her.
We're going to get more of the Gyumin Nyan date, their nighttime activities, where Gyumin first met Haeun.
Yeah, the actual point of this date they're going on.
And then this is exciting. Haeun is going to get a letter at the house that's like specifically for her when she's alone.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to cry for that long before something happened. Unless the note is like...
make dinner for everyone after they come back from their dates.
I was going to say, like, stop crying, please. Or like...
This is not good television anymore. Go do something else.
They show her like she's going to get in a car, but she's like by herself in the back seat. I don't know if she's getting like a taxi somewhere or
I think I think the letter says like your date is waiting for you. Like,
oh, really?
She's getting put in a date. So maybe she's getting put in a date with Tei because he lost his date.
Okay.
And then Jisoo just doesn't get to have a date. Yeah.
Who needs Jisoo?
I mean, Gyumin does.
I know. I actually like Jisoo.
Yeah.
I feel like I might like Haeun, other than that some listeners have said that she's going to be a lot or something. They gave me the impression that she's going to be a lot. So
yeah.
But right now, I have sympathy for her.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Okie dokie. This show just keeps rolling, Sarah.
Yeah. Gonna come back and do some more next week.
I think we're 100% solved on the X's in this show. I think we're done with that. So I think this show is going to take a turn in terms of what it is now. Because they don't have to like lie to us anymore.
Yeah. Now it's put people in awkward situations with their exes.
Yeah. I'm curious how it's going to be a lot of dates just playing out in the next episode, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then the spicy stuff happens when like everybody gets back from a date and then they get to like, what do they talk about? What don't they talk about? Who do you text when you get back from a date?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, me too.
So next time we'll be talking about Transit Love 2, episode 6.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up, Sarah?
Thanks to the listeners who commented and saying that we would find out who Yihyun's ex was and all that nonsense, so we didn't have to suffer for a couple extra days being like, oh, are they ever going to tell us? So thanks. We asked for it. I still
wildly
delivered.
Speculated that my theory was correct.
Right? Yeah, that is true. But they came through for us. They did what we asked. So thank you.
Until they revealed it, like all of the evidence that they were adding on to in this episode until they revealed it was like, oh, it's definitely it now. Like they're giving me more and more and more, and then nope, it's not.
Yeah.
It would be a little tricky to go from like season 1, no new people enter the house, everybody just has one ex, and then next season it's like, well, somebody has 2 exes and we're adding new people. Like it's a little like too much of a change. So I think season 3, watch out for the double X scenario.
Yeah, double X. Yeah.
They'll actually cast for double X. I don't I don't think they had a backup X for Mingy
Yeah,
ready
yeah.
to go, you know?
Exactly.
But maybe next year, now that it's out there,
Mhm.
now that they're listening to this podcast, they'll be
Yeah,
like,
now they know
double
what's up.
X's. Now we know how to really get them. All right, Sarah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Where can people contact us?
People can email us at keepwatchingpod@gmail.com or tweet at us at keepwatchingpod or Instagram at us at keepwatchingpod or leave a comment on the YouTube video also at keepwatchingpod. And if you want to make us cry like hey and watching Human take Nyan on a date, then leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
I mean, it's not going to be painful to read
I mean, maybe
the review.
they
Oh,
could
it
write
could.
anything.
Oh, yeah, it could be painful.
But please, maybe nice
I
things
mean-
would be good.
I think it would be closer to the way Wanbin's upset than the way.
Okay. Yeah, but that didn't happen this episode. It wasn't relevant. I'm trying to work
It's
in the
relevant to
episode.
me making the argument.
This is the hardest part of the episode for me. I'm trying so hard.
Yeah, but I'm just bantering off of your attempt.
I know. But it never works. One day someone will leave us a review. Maybe.
Maybe. All right, good stuff. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.